Hey, Derek.
Hey, David.
It's a Gimmicks bonus episode. We
It is.
promised this would happen. We said in our coverage of the Abbott Elementary It's Always Sunny crossover that we would come back and talk about the other side of the coin, the It's Always Sunny / Abbott crossover that just aired on FXX.
It did. What is the title of this one? Is the title like The Gang Fucks Up at Abbott Elementary or something?
Yeah.
That's fun.
It sort of told you what was going on. I've got to say, right off the top, I was a little bit worried when this was a little bit more in the Abbott style because it is using the mockumentary of it all.
Yeah. That's found that to be an odd choice. But
Me too. I was most happy when they were at the bar because I was like, this is what I wanted. I wanted the characters at the bar.
Yeah, okay. I think that the Abbott Elementary episode, the first one, is superior pretty far and away to this one.
Yes.
Which I never would have expected. I was really excited to see the Always Sunny take on the Abbott characters, and we get a little bit of that, but it kind of really ends up coming down to just like, let's hear Janine say more swears, like, you know, which is funny, but like that was like the bare minimum. I expected there to be a little bit more. But I think to your point, yeah, I think what's weird about the second part of the Abbott Elementary Always Sunny crossover is that this is airing with Always Sunny. This is airing as the season premiere of Always Sunny. And I think I was expecting, and I think we were expecting, and I think they even talked about in interviews that it was going to be like, these are just going to be kind of two interconnected but complete stories. Like, right. The Abbott episode was an Abbott episode with the Always Sunny characters. The Always Sunny episode was going to be an episode of Always Sunny with the Abbott characters. This feels to me more like bonus features on the Abbott Elementary episode. And I feel like if you only watch Always Sunny and you watch this, it's going to feel annoying and inscrutable to you.
Agreed. Because the first time I watched this, I was like, I'm just going to go in. I don't need to see that when I watched it 2 times. And then I watched this and I go, no, I need to go back and watch the Abbott one because I don't know what's happening.
I think is a poor decision when the episodes air months apart. It doesn't make any sense. And I feel like they tried to cover for it by having it be in the mockumentary format still, so you can have the talking heads of characters basically, I guess, recapping what was happening in the Abbott episode to then introduce you to the next scene. But then it just makes the episode feel so clunky, ruins the pace of it, and just makes it just feel like most of the Abbott characters, what they do is just show up and just tell you and just explain to you what the next scene is going to be, like introduce the scenes with the Abbott characters, which is the poorest use of those characters because they don't get to be funny.
Exactly. And then what we're kind of left with are these like series of vignettes with the Always Sunny crew,
which are funny in a vacuum individually. They're really funny vignettes. Truly and honestly.
Special features was the way to go because I think that if you had just popped one of these on, I would have laughed hysterically because absolutely. they are like deleted cut scenes and they are very It's Always Sunny. Mm-hmm. But I guess not that I've watched all of It's Always Sunny, but I watched enough of it for our conversation about the Noir episode.
There are narratives in Always Sunny episodes. And there's no narrative in this episode.
There's no through line. Barely the copper comes back at the end. And like, I love Ava's framing of the episode. I thought that was kind of fun, but in a lot of ways, Derek, I didn't feel like this was a crossover episode.
No, I don't know what it felt like. I mean, I guess special feature is kind of what it felt like. Yeah. It felt like bonus features. It really just felt like they if I didn't know anything about the making of, I would have been like, oh, they half-assed it. And like the Abbott crew wrote all of this stuff or the Always Sunny crew didn't care about it and was just doing this to get their paycheck, which I know isn't true because based on all the interviews, you know, if you listen to our first bonus episode on this, but like we talk a little bit about what we read for behind the scenes stuff. And like, there was a lot of collaboration between the writers, the writing staff on both shows, like more so than usual for these types of crossovers. So it comes off as really bizarre to me that this one felt like it was just a bunch of people who like didn't really care or had run out of steam, just kind of cobbling together a bunch of extra footage into an extra episode. Like, I don't think that that's what actually happened, but it ends up feeling like that. Which
that's what it feels. Well, and even the way in which the Abbott cast is included, I thought, oh, like, was there like a scheduling problem with Cheryl Lee Ralph? Like, where's my perfect girl? and then to read like there were no scheduling problems. This was obviously the one that was easier to plan for. And so like we didn't have a Glenn Howerton problem on the Abbott team because they had a little bit more of a runway. Mm-hmm. And then I'm kind of like, oh shit, like I wish there had been a scheduling problem so I could at least use that as a way to explain what's going on.
They barely use these characters. It's so bizarre.
Yeah.
And it's like, again, if they had barely used the Abbott characters, but then just focused a lot on a storyline with the Always Sunny characters, I could get behind it. Like, it would be sort of like, oh, that's kind of like, I wish they could have done more with the crossover, but you would at least have the Abbott Elementary episode. Then maybe this could have just been more of an Always Sunny episode, but it's not that either. It's just like we were saying, they just kind of cobble together scenes of Always Sunny characters riffing, which is funny. And then occasionally having Abbott characters sort of introduce those scenes of characters riffing,
right,
and saying, those guys seem weird and stupid. And I'm like, yeah, I know. Do interact with them. Like, yeah. What are you doing?
Because if you pick different actors than the folks who are on Abbott, this is just a vignettes episode. We could still cover it on Pod, which obviously we are, but it's no longer really the other half of a crossover. It just truly is. Weird. I mean, I loved the conspiracy stuff. I loved
all the 9/11 talk is so funny.
So stupid.
Episode. Look,
funny. It's so stupid.
If you want to, just an easy way to like get me on board with you, dark humor at 9/11, I'll be like, sold. Great. I will always laugh at it. Sorry, folks. I'm that guy. Never too soon for me. I think this show fucking nails the like 9/11 conspiracy nut shit. It's so funny.
And that's what it is it captures who these characters are. And I guess that is a way in which the Abbott team was actually used, is it's them commenting on, they became conspiracy theorists real fast.
That part was funny. Yeah.
Anybody could have said that. Like,
that's true. Yeah. Yeah.
You could have had Anthony Hopkins pick up the phone and just record the like container dialogue for these vignettes.
Yeah. I think it's like they lean too much on the idea of there being bonus footage from the Abbott episode. Like, I think I understand where that idea comes from, because it's like, well, Abbott, they're technically they're mockumentary. They're technically filming documentary footage, and they acknowledge that in the episode. They make jokes about the Always Sunny characters either wanting to or not wanting to be on camera. Like, so they're acknowledging it more than they even do on Abbott normally. Let's use that and pretend there's bonus footage of this stuff. But it just doesn't make for a good episode. Like, I think that would have been a great introduction to the episode. You see some bonus footage, and then that spins out into a story of the Always Sunny characters having to deal with the consequences of some of the stuff that they did being caught on camera, and then interacting with the Abbott Elementary characters after dealing with those. Like, I honestly think that they should have just left Abbott Elementary, the school, very early in the episode, gone away from the episode that we already saw, and then just did like a day later or something at the bar. And then, like you're saying, we like the scene when the Abbott characters are at the bar. It would have been cool if there would have been a reason for them to be stuck there for some reason,
Yeah. Oh my God. A bottle episode in the bar with the Abbott cast would have been hilarious.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. Like, why not?
Yeah. Not a bottle, a chamber, but fine. Because that would not have been cheap. But like, that would have been really fun. And then you could have explored all the conflicts from the day before. Derek, let's go back in time and fix this.
Yeah. Baffling.
Just baffling. kind of sad, honestly. I was like, well, we promised we would do it, so we're gonna record it, but I was like, I didn't really like this.
No, I neither. I was so disappointed. It's weird too, because I'm like, I don't know. They also take the wrong approach, I think, with like, I could have seen it if they repeated a lot of stuff from the Abbott one for viewers of only Always Sunny, or I could have seen it where it's like nothing from the Abbott Elementary and it's a completely new story, but they still they basically do mostly new stuff, but then still intersperse scenes from the Abbott Elementary, but like not enough for it to feel like justified.
Right.
Like they repeat, like there's like there's the joke that I love where like, Janine runs in out of breath and Ava like imitates her like, what? Like, that's a funny joke, and they repeat it. And I'm like, not unhappy to see that, because that probably was my favorite joke from the Abbott episode.
Yeah.
But I don't understand why they repeated that joke. You know what I mean? Like,
I wonder if they were like, this is the best joke.
Yeah, maybe,
because I was with you too, and of course Mike was watching this with me, and he goes, "Oh my God, it's really funny." And I was like, "Oh, we saw it before." And he goes, "Yeah, I will laugh at that every time." And I was like,
"Because it's really funny." But that's the other thing that I don't know if this is necessarily the responsibility of the episode, But I do also look at it from the perspective of like part of the fun of crossovers is that you are sometimes, you only watch one or the other show. And so sometimes it might be your first exposure to characters from that show and then might get you to end up watching that show because you're interested in. And I think the Abbott Elementary episode does a great job of introducing the Always Sunny characters in a way that you're like, I kind of want to check out their show.
Right.
This episode, I think if you were to judge Abbott Elementary based solely on its representation in this episode, you're not going to think Abbott Elementary is a very funny show because the characters don't tell jokes most of the time. That's like the one instance, the out of breath thing, the one instance where the Abbott characters are allowed to be funny in the way that they're funny on their show.
Right. And you and I both kind of predicted this. Like there would be a little bit of, I guess, shock humor is the way that I want to frame it.
Sure.
Like I'd put 9/11 conspiracy theory and
absolutely.
joking about that in that pile. I would put Quinta Brunson saying fucking cunt in a series where she is known to like not swear and be very amicable. And I would put the sort of plot line about misunderstanding that they might be like trying to groom a child in a bathroom.
I like
all
that
in that pot.
a lot. That was really, really funny.
Yes. And that's how you use this cast. I just think you could have found a thread between them.
Yeah.
You would have had to like flex your creative muscles, but like people in screenwriting do that all the time.
Yeah, Always Sunny is good at flexing their creative muscles all the time.
Yes,
so,
and maybe that's my problem is that I know this show does that. They take the irreverent and turn it into an actually like pretty A, B, C storyline.
Yeah.
Here's my other question, Derek.
Okay.
Did you know that this crossover was dropping this week?
No, I saw a review of it or someone mention it like in the past tense. So I was like, wait, that happened? And granted, I'm not a consistent watcher of Always Sunny, so I wasn't following when the season premiere was happening, to be fair. I'm sure if you were following Always Sunny, you probably are maybe more aware or were seeing FX ads for it or something, but I don't know.
Maybe, but I feel like I couldn't get away from the Abbott one. I felt like there was information about this crossover happening everywhere.
Yeah. It's very promoted.
For this side of it, and okay, it's summer, so I do understand that like promotion in the summer is different than promotion during, the fall.
Yeah.
But I feel like I didn't hear about this at all.
Yeah, I think, I remember us sort of thinking it was a good idea to have space between the two episodes if they weren't going to air like back to back. And now I maybe take that back a little bit. I think maybe it was too long. I think it was too long because I think people kind of forgot that it happened and sort of let the air out of their sails. And it almost makes you wonder too if like FX wasn't very confident in this episode and so didn't really want to publicize it in the same way that they publicized the Abbott episode.
Yeah. Oh, well, I think we wish that it could be better, but I did have fun. I mean, I had a good enough time.
It's fine. It's like fine. I just, if you've never seen Abbott Elementary before and are an avid watcher of Always Sunny, don't judge the show based on this episode because it's a pretty poor representation of it, I think.
No, there are so many better. Even the other side of this crossover would be where I would tell you to start.
If you watch the Abbott Elementary Always Sunny crossover on Abbott, because that's a good episode of both of those shows. So
I do think that one of the things that's going to end up being kind of weird assigned to this is that this will be the first production that will be under Rob Mack's new name. And that it's interesting that it is now tied to this episode.
Why is everyone weird about that? Can you explain this to me? I feel like people are mad for some reason, and I don't quite understand what's going on with that.
Yeah, I think it sounds like Mac was prepared for there to be a lot of push. The decision was made for business purposes more than anything else.
Basically, Rob McElhenney just changed his name to Rob Mack, and I read an article that he was like, I thought I'm like tired of people misspelling it or mispronouncing it, so I changed it to Rob Mack. That was like, okay, that seems reasonable to me, I guess. I don't care.
Well, and not just like annoyed that people are misspelling your name, listen, as someone who changed his last name, having 2 silent letters in it to Arnold, yeah, I get it. But people were misspelling it on important business documents as part of his whole soccer bullshit thing.
Oh, what's the soccer? Is that the thing he's doing with Ryan Reynolds or something like that?
Yeah.
I truly cannot express how much I don't care about any of this stuff, but I feel like I've been made to care because people keep talking about it for some reason. I don't know. Keep going.
And I'm gonna make you care for another 90 seconds.
Okay.
So they're doing a lot of business in South America, and McElhenney just is not it. The South American or Latin American Spanish will simply not grasp with those letters. And so he goes, I'm just going to change my name so that it's easier to spell, so things stop getting delayed that are important soccer business decisions I need to make with Ryan Reynolds, who has a very easy to spell last name. And that is part of why he made the decision. He was so worried about blowback of changing his name that he like prepared videos about it and how like his family's heritage had always had name changes as part of it. And I think maybe got too ahead of it, and people were annoyed about how ahead of it he got.
I see. Okay. He overthought it. I get it.
Yeah.
Okay. And that makes more sense, because I was just like, people change their names all the time. Who gives a shit? Like
all the time. Apparently the people who are most upset about the name change are Caitlin Olsen and his children, who all have McElhenney as their legal names. I did not know that Caitlin Olsen had actually changed her name and just uses a stage name to perform now.
Huh. Interesting. I mean, that is a little weird if you don't like consult and approve with your family.
Well, or just change everyone in the family's name. Everyone change your name. Listen, this is, well, I mean, this is a weird political time for me to be giving this advice, but name changes are complicated. But if you need a different name can do a lot to your mental health. And I just offer that as someone who changed his name. I would do it again. I would not do it as part of a marriage that the state I lived in did not recognize, but I would totally have changed my name again.
Mm-hmm. Okay, I'm going to go back to not caring about that.
Great. I thank you for giving me a couple more minutes of caring about soccer. I do. If I ever met Rob Mack and Ryan Reynolds, I would demand that they give me financial compensation for caring about this as much as I do. Just because every time we cover them, I feel like I have to learn more information about this bullshit.
Truly, I don't know. Do your soccer thing in South America. I don't give it. Truly, keep me out of it.
Yeah. Just don't come here.
With this. No stakes in this whatsoever.
I don't need anything to change with my soccer team. Everything's solid here in Valencia, where the bats, our colors are fantastic. I love it.
Cool. Okay. So many things that I just don't give a shit about. Anyway, I don't know.
What else is there to say about this episode? It just sort of like happens. I wish that I had more, but like. Once it's done, it's sort of like
coffee thing. What's with the coffee? They make a chemistry set with the coffee. I wanted that to be funny or lead up to something, and I don't know that I found that. I don't think I found anything in that.
It didn't pay off. I wondered if it was a way to use Howerton just because he wasn't there for the first part of the crossover.
But like,
and they were like,
do something funny with it. I don't know.
Thank you. Or have him like constantly dodging the camera and have it be like funny that he's in camouflage or something. I wanted something, but then for him to just kind of like, I made coffee like they did on Breaking Bad. And then to even call that out, I was like, okay, like, this isn't even subtext.
Yeah. I don't know. Disappointed. I'm just disappointed.
Disappointed. Yeah.
9/11 and jokes are great, but disappointed.
Truly and honestly, I do think there are some banger jokes in the episode. I just think it didn't work as an episode. It worked as a set of bonus features. You got it right in one, Derek.
Yeah. Okay. Well, hopefully the next crossover we cover will be better.
Will almost have to be, but it's been great talking to you about this one. I'm glad we covered both of these. I do think they are important, but I think the Abbott Elementary one was superior.
Yep.
Cool. Well, if you would like to support the podcast, you can give us a little tip by buying us a coffee at ko-fi.com/gimmicks-pod, and you can follow the podcast on Blue Sky and Instagram at gimmicks-pod. But until next time, friends, keep being weird. Do we end bonus episodes with that?
I don't remember how we end them.
We got the audio. It's in there.